Welcome to what actually we hope kinda isn't the season finale, but it is the regular season finale, the playoff hunting regular season finale. I don't want to spoil anything with the title. We are pushing to try and finish in the top 6. Quite frankly, we only have 6th available to us, and the scenario is thus. Luton are currently in that 6th spot, but they have played 45 games. They've only got 1 game left. Blackburn are a point further back with 2 games left, 3 points clear of us. Sunderland have played a game more than us and are 1 point clear of us. And then there's ourselves in 9th, who are hoping to get to 69 points by winning 2 games today and praying that that will be enough to seal a 6th spot in this championship season to give us playoff football for the chance of Premier League football next season. It's a big ask. I won't show you the league table again until the end of the season, or the end of the episode at least, so that you know exactly what's happening. Then and then only. We'll keep the intrigue and mystery up. We have ourselves, on paper, straightforward games. Birmingham City away, Coventry at home. Both winnable games. They need to be won. So we will do what we can to get ourselves into a playoff paying position. However, it is out of our hands at this stage. There's always something to play for, isn't there, at the end of a season for us in any save we do somehow. But it's a tall ask. But it was a tall ask for us to win the title in League One, and somehow it fell in our laps. So we live in hope. Saying thank you to those of you on the board behind me again for your continued support in the comment section. Declan, Barak and Skippity Doobup, thank you for your love in the comment section, and your press conference questions have been coming in thick and fast. And actually, because there's so much on the line today, I'm going to do all 3 press conference questions now. Asa says, hello Mr. Monk, with Sarmiento not performing to the level that you know he can perform at, would you look to loan him out next season in order to get a good run of games under his belt? I am unsure as to what to do with Sarmiento. He's a player that promises so much, but so far has delivered so little. His stats are decent. He's grown since he's been here by 2 to 77. He's got 86 acceleration and sprint speed, so physically he's good. Balance is decent. Balance is very good, actually. Agility is decent. Technically, short passing's his main area of expertise, but ball control of 74, dribbling of 75. They're not world-beating stats. And I really need him to improve technically if he's to make a genuine impression on this starting lineup. At the minute, how he's 77 rated, I'm not entirely too sure. I think it's mainly the pace that is ensuring he's as highly rated as he is, because he's not actually as good as you might think he might be because of the overall rating. So we're praying that Sarmiento continues to improve. Whether we loan him out or not, I don't know. You guys will probably have the call on that, so please do let me know in the comment section what you think I should do in that regard. Question 2 comes from Gus. Says, with the recent form, even if you miss out this season at the end, next season you are a top 6 contender for sure. How is that going to affect your summer transfers? Financially, we're in a very good position. Obviously, if we get to the playoffs, that's no guarantee of even getting promoted, obviously. We'll be playing against sides that have comprehensively beaten us so far this season as well. So, we hope to be in the playoffs. Then, we hope to get up. If we don't, as you say, we would very much anticipate being top 6 contenders from the off next year after a slow start this season. Or actually a good start, then a lull, and then a return to form. We'd hope to be consistent throughout the whole year. As a result of that, obviously, from a content point of view, we're in a position now where we can sign players of 77 up to 78 rated now, thanks to Lobato, but they're still going to have to be realistic. We're going to have to be able to justify bringing in a player of that rating, depending on fee and club that they currently play for and competition in the club that they currently play for. So it's going to be a very interesting, intriguing and probably opinion-splitting summer transfer window. So that's certainly one to look forward to. And then the third and final question comes from Meowbert McMoo that says, with the club targeting promotion through the playoffs, we hope to do that, do you think the players are mentally and physically ready to be promoted? If not, how long do you think we need, basically, in the Championship until we're in a position where we're we feel like the club are ready for promotion. Financially, I think we're ready for the Premier League. In terms of experience, even though we've got a younger squad, a squad that's on the younger side, these players that are playing regularly are performing well, and I think are ready for the test of Premier League football. It certainly would be a relegation-threatened, maybe even definitely relegated season, but I feel like the players we have at the club currently, along with those opinion-splitting probable signings in the summer, we'd give it a hell of a good go. I think we're ready to try to stay in the Premier League, but I don't necessarily know as we'd be ready to stay in the Premier League. We don't yet know if we're ready to even be in the Premier League because we need to make sure we get the points today. So let's go and do that. Birmingham will be the first game of the day away. They have a decent team. They're 20th in the table though, but their front line is strong. John Ruddy, former Cambridge United player, in goal for them, which is really nice to see. He's gone to Newcastle. I think he's got a Premier League move. I think it's Newcastle, John Ruddy. Obviously, purely for English player quota, you would imagine. But still, he's got... Well, maybe this is the longest term, longest play agent former player that you've ever seen. Agent Ruddy left Cambridge United in like 2005, nearly 20 years ago. Will he concede the goals to help us maybe get to the Premier League? I hope so. It's Donovan down the wing. Not only do we need the win, we might need a bit of a goal difference boost as well. Oh, nice tackle. After losing quite so heavily to Sheffield United yesterday. See Emmanuel Dennis here. That's a lovely ball by Enis Bardi. After losing quite so heavily to Sheffield United yesterday, we do worry that things... Oh, he scooped it. Whilst we might have the points, we might not have the goal difference. So we're praying that if we do get ourselves on points into the top six, that it is by points and it doesn't come down to goal difference, because we are unfavourable compared to a couple of the other sides around us. That was a terrible pass, Jez. Come on, fix up. Lovely challenge. He's still going out on the left-hand side. Crescene getting forward, looking for Fofana. He's got Emmanuel Dennis through there, and he'll look to get around the outside. Crescene is actually still in the box here. Trying to spin, then deliver the ball. And, Enis Bardi over the bar again, but what a goal it would have been. What a goal either of them would have been. Dembele. Corbani steps in firmly. Makengo quickly enough around the corner to Lobato, who will go again. Corbani will look for either of them. Oh, it's lovely interchanging footwork and football. And there's the goal. Lobato off the wing. Lenny at 1-1 on his shirt and 1-0 on the scoreline. It's given us the points as it stands, but we would certainly, as we mentioned, like to get the goal difference too. We will keep attacking. Bielik. Linetti can get to that. He tried, he failed. Makengo can, however. We'll get this forward. Fofana, use the left back. Use Linetti. That's not Linetti, is it? Donovan into the middle to Elia. Short to Donovan again. Dembele this time. Thankfully, Valdemarson makes the save. All coming from that misplaced pass from the left back. The intention was to go Linetti and then Emmanuel Dennis down the line. Corbani's been very solid on near post duty from set pieces, I have to be honest. Might take the free kick here, they won't. Elia will try and get the goal, but he'll fire wide. Goal kick. Couldn't quite get there quickly enough. Nor there either. Elia. Goal kick only. Thank Christ for that. You put faith in your goalkeeper from an angle that narrow that he's going to do what he needs to stop them from scoring. Turned out on this occasion, didn't actually need to do anything because Elia can't shoot on target to save his life at this particular moment in time. Can Bielik? No, he can't do it either. I think we're starting to see why Birmingham are 20th in the division. Linetti's made a good run, but we'll go short to Dennis first. There's Bardi in the middle, then look for Linetti. Linetti will look for Fofana. Crescene can get it back to him. There's not much room in here. He's trying to find some space. Enis Bardi's been the go-to man recently. But Ruddy makes the stop. Man on the edge of the box. That's not the man on the edge of the box. There's the man on the edge of the box. Supposed to go to Linetti first time, never mind. Dennis, here is Linetti. Linetti trying to get it around the corner to Bardi and can't. Both sides have had a chance of scoring the next goal in the game. So far, we're the only ones to have scored a goal in the game. And Cashin is ensuring that that remains the case, although that fell very kindly for Birmingham. And then it's fallen back towards us. 1-0 at the half. Didn't read that ball at all. And here's Tyler Roberts off the bench, Birmingham City. I fully expected him to score there. Valdemarson's pulled a fantastic save out the bag, and I don't quite know how he's done it. Linetti with the header clear. Cresceni will get to it. He's going to have the legs to break a little bit, you know. You can hear the away fans trying to roar the team forward as we go on the break, but can't get it done. Cresceni getting the defensive work done, but now pulled upon once more, and failing this time. And Dembele, great footwork. And there's the goal, and it's been coming. Birmingham get their equaliser in the 56th minute, and they're not done yet. Straight to pick the ball up, straight to the halfway line. They want more to guarantee their survival in the division. We want more to try and get out of this division. Cashin with a tackle. Bardi to Lobato. Lobato with the ball to Fofana. Fofana with the space. The defender in the middle doesn't know whether to close me down or go to Emmanuel Dennis. Foday, you might be the championship's top goal scorer, mate, but you could probably have twice as many as you've currently got if you knew how to finish properly. I swear to God, Foday Fofana is the best or the worst best striker I've had for a while. Linetti. Fofana to Bardi. Crescene's there. Emmanuel Dennis on the inside. Dennis looking for Fofana. Fofana to Lobato. Lobato then maybe. Lobato it is. 2 for him. Add the 1 and the 1 together on the back of his shirt this time. Cambridge have their lead once more. Free kick Birmingham. They're looking for an instant response again. They're not going to get it like that. His teammates will be livid with him, Elia. He's missed a number of opportunities already in this game. And then he tries that from there. What on earth is he thinking? Oh, in here to Sarmiento's come off the bench. Lobato has Sarmiento running. Sarmiento through that gap maybe. Garces intercepts. Should have gone to Corbani, who's now out of position. And leaving Kirk to deal with Dembele. Kirk has dealt with Dembele. Really nicely done. Fofana to Sarmiento. We will use Corbani this time. We won't use Corbani this time because Sarmiento is about as strong. My 6-year-old bloody niece. Never mind, we want it back. Cashin. Of all people, it's the centre-back that's getting forward now. And Lobato. Into a central position now, Lobato. With the substitutions we've made. Sarmiento finds himself in a great position. That, however, is kind of all about the delivery, isn't it? He couldn't miss. He had to be in the right place, and fair play to him for the great attack positioning. But that delivery from Lenny Lobato is chef's kiss, pal. Proving exactly why, in this game, he's our highest rated player and the man to match. 2 goals and an assist for him in this one. Fofana wins that back. And we'll look to go again. Sarmiento's on the overlap. Sarmiento in the box. Drill it back. Fofana 4. Foday has a goal of his own today. And we have ourselves a powerful scoreline. When they pulled it was good movement by Fofana. You've seen Chet back there. When they pulled it back to 1-1, as has been the case in a couple of games recently, especially with the way they were dominating to that point, you feared the worst, that if any side was going to go on and score another goal, it was going to be them. 27 goals in 43 championship games for Foday Fofana. He is the leading goal scorer in this division. Sigurdsson's getting down the line here and will deliver a ball. That will be a corner or a free kick for handball. It is the free kick for handball. Put Ennis Bardi on it, although we're not going to be shooting. We're going to look to float this. Try and find a teammate in the middle. There is a defender in the middle. Not to worry. 4-1 is probably going to be enough to see the result through. A +3 in the scoreline, or in the goal difference, sorry, is hopefully going to be enough to keep us in the mix. But at the minute, we've done the first of the two-parter well. Now we need to go and beat Coventry and pray that everything goes our way elsewhere. Our final opponents of the league regular season are Coventry City. 3 straight defeats for them. We're in great goal-scoring form. We need to make sure that continues here. We need the win. We might well need the goal difference. Don't really think I need to change anything in the starting lineup. I mean, Sarmiento came off the bench to get a goal, so maybe he starts ahead of Dennis. Hodoy Arriaga. Not a name I've ever heard before. But playing in their midfield, Sakamoto. Brilliant turn by Sakamoto. Alex Lozano fires wide for Coventry City. They might have lost 3 in a row. They might be in mid-table mediocrity, but don't write Coventry City off from ruining our party here at the Abbey Stadium. We are praying for playoffs. Whether it happens or not, we've absolutely no idea whatsoever. The minute Fofana is supposedly the player to watch. I mean, you can understand why for this particular match. They being the Championship's top goal scorer. But will he add to his tally? We very much need him to. Sarmiento could help him do that. If he can just find him with a delivery here. And that's why Sarmiento has 72 crossing. And why I'm contemplating sending him out on loan next year. Despite the fact he's one of the second highest rated players at the club. Look for Fofana here. Great touch, great turn. Vardy's going. Sarmiento will look to get down the line. Works it back. Corbani, that's a good delivery. Still only finding a defender, however. Coventry City are sat back, to say the least. Doing what they feel like they need to get something from the game. Not that they've anything to play for. It's a free kick for handball, or is someone just getting a yellow card? No, it is indeed a free kick for handball. Okay. Ennis, find a teammate, please. Nearly. Fofana was waiting. Makengo's not really the man I want in that situation. Fofana is the man I want here. Oh, but wide. Oh, he's done me. He's passed me. Corbani's trying his best to close the gap back down. The option inside. There's multiple options inside. Carolinetti has other ideas though. Sarmiento needs good footwork here and finds it. Makengo will just take no risks and go back to the goalkeeper. I'll look for Fofana long. That's an excellent flick. And Yeremy Sarmiento driving in towards goal. Yeremy misses. He's just not a 77 rated player, is he? He's quick and he can pass the ball short, but he can't cross or shoot. And when it comes to a winger, you kind of need to be able to cross and shoot, don't you, really? I might even be in a position where I just say, you know what? Bollocks to loaning him. I might just sell Sarmiento. Signed on a free for 2+ years, but as we've mentioned before, we are seeing exactly why he was a free agent for 18 months. He promises so much and delivers so little. Can he deliver across here? That's on Fofana for not getting to it. Vardy's won that back really nicely. Sarmiento will look for him into the channel. That's where the short passing comes in. Ennis Vardy's first touch is sensational, but can only force the corner. Can't find Fofana. Can he from the corner? No. Linetti recovers. Out to Ennis Vardy again. Lifted into the middle. It's Makengo that's there. And that is a world-class header from the midfielder. Oh my God. I thought, mate, there's no point me doing it. I'll try and force a corner again because he's not going to score, but I've got no other options. Oh my God. Right. Well, we have the result we were looking for. We now have to hope that everyone else is doing what we need them to. But from 15 metres and 17 yards, that's the best header we've scored all season. It's not as good as Linetti's last year, but it's not bad at all. Palmer. Palmer to Lozano. West Brom have just taken a 2-0 lead against Birmingham. That is a 2-0 lead for West Brom that might relegate Birmingham City. I'm sure Baggies fans would love that very much indeed. What I'd love very much indeed is for Carol Linetti to bury this and for us to seal the victory. But Carol Linetti has not buried this, and we haven't sealed the victory. Tell me how he's not scored that then, please. Tavares with options out wide. Play will continue here. Advantage played, 87th minute. We currently have the result we need, but we don't know if our points tally will be enough. We also don't know if our points tally is enough, if our goal difference will be enough. And only a narrow 1-0 scoreline here at the moment might not be enough. We might not even have the 1-0 scoreline. Here's Alex Lozano. Cashin with the block of his career. Very well celebrated by his teammates as well, who know just how much that block could mean. The goalkeeper is up. Their number 44 is in the box. It's Cashin that's underneath it again. Henderson tries to clear. I don't even know what the man outside the box is doing there. It maybe registered a double press. Away, please. Cresene's up. We are going to get our result, I think. We are going to get... Ref, please, for the love of Christ. Ref, please. What in the world? No playoffs. In very controversial fashion. How was he not blown up? Unreal. With the last kick of the season, we won't make the playoffs. In the 96th minute of 3 added on, no wonder there are boos around the ground. We pray that our result wasn't the deciding factor.
Just a couple of questions for you.
We needed Preston to beat Luton. We needed Blackburn to lose to Sheffield Wednesday. I think I saw that Preston did beat Luton. But Blackburn were victorious. No, Blackburn drew. Blackburn drew against Sheffield Wednesday. 0-0 in the end. Thankfully, and it is very, very thankfully, that goal didn't cost us the chance of Premier League football. We finish 7th and by 3 points outside the promotion playoff spots. Holy moly. I couldn't quite believe that that went in. We would have been on 69 points and would have not reached the playoffs by a single point. I cannot tell you how grateful I am that that didn't matter. Ultimately, it's Blackburn Rovers' result on the penultimate match day for them. A win at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United, that's the deciding factor. Sheffield United destroyed us by 4-0 when we played them. And I fully expected them to beat Blackburn as well. Blackburn went to Bramall Lane and won by 2-1, and that result is the one that made the difference. And quite frankly, if they can go to Bramall Lane and win 2-1 after our experience at Bramall Lane in the last episode, then Blackburn deserve that playoff spot. Fair enough. Fair enough, you can have it. Ben Oz... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not happening. £8.4 million is the playoff... Sorry, is the championship prize money. Samiento saying thank you. Fede Fofana saying thank you. Let's go and have a full season roundup then at the end of the year. We will be championship next year. But with the financial clout we have at the season once more and the growth in the club and the capability to bring in players of very high quality, it's not just a playoff spot we're going for next year. Depending on who comes down from the Premier League, we might be going for automatic promotion. Let's go and round the season out and see exactly what next year might well look like. So we've reached the very end of this 5th season. Let's show you how everything went down in the competitions we were involved in and the other major competitions around Europe. Have a look at our squad and see how everybody grew or didn't grow. And have a think about what we might do in Season 6. What we know for sure is that we are aiming absolutely for promotion in Season 6. But will we be good enough to challenge for automatic promotion, or will we be hoping for playoffs only again next year? Quite frankly, we were nowhere near the level of Leicester City or West Brom this year. They go up automatically. Sheffield United, we pray, will join them. Watford, we had the better of this year. Blackburn, we had the better of this year. But Bristol City, we definitely didn't. So we were, as far as we can be concerned, arguably, we were the 5th best team in the league. Leicester and West Brom were miles away. Sheffield United and Bristol City were miles away. Watford we could compete with, and Blackburn we could too. And everybody below us we got decent results with. So I'm happy enough with the season as a whole. Considering the lull in the middle, it is still perhaps a case of what might have been, but that's football, isn't it? That's the realistic thing that happened, and that's why you guys enjoy this save so much. So Leicester are up, West Brom are up, and we'll find out who joins them via the playoffs. Relegated are Plymouth, as well as Blackpool and Sheffield Wednesday. In the FA Cup, Arsenal win that particular competition by 3-1 over Wolves. Liverpool win by 3-1 over Leeds in the Carabao Cup. In the playoffs, Watford go up. We have to play Sheffield United again next year. Watford won 4-1 on pens. I really wanted Sheffield United to go up because that is a side that I don't think we can finish above next season, regardless of how well we hire in the summer. That's a real kick in the teeth. AC Milan win an all-Italian Super Cup, as in the Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain deny them the chance to be in the Super Cup again next year, as they've won on penalties in the Champions League final. In the Europa League, Sevilla win 2-1 against Fiorentina. Sevilla again winning that competition. And the Conference League was won by Spurs. They've won a trophy, lads. Tottenham 2, Valencia 0. Congratulations. The Euros are ongoing and England are out. Bottom of the group with a draw only and defeats to Belgium and Italy. A point only against Poland. England out of the Euros. Well done. That's gone really well, hasn't it? Maybe that's what life after Southgate looks like. Who knows? I'm definitely team Southgate out, though, if I'm completely honest. Player stat-wise, Fode Fofana, with 27 in 44, is the league's top goal scorer. Meaning, we will have to do very well to keep him at the club next year, because that is the sort of performance that will open eyes around the Premier League, especially with him being so young. Silva for Leicester is the second top goal scorer. Then it's Ferreira for Bristol City. Ferreira will still be in the division next year. Koita and Correa will still be in the division next year. Salihovic for Luton only played 36 games and got 19 goals. Hwang Hee-chan only played 37 and got 20 goals for Leicester. Force was very good for Middlesbrough as well. There's a lot of players on that list that will be in the division next year, but will Fofana be in the division next year? He may well be, but will it be with me? Enis Bardi got 12 goals in 21 games and made himself onto the list in just half a season. Bit good him, isn't he, really? Lenny Lobato is the most creative player in the division. I might open some eyes to him next year as well. We hope it doesn't. Emmanuel Dennis with 10 assists is my second most creative player and earned himself a contract extension. Enis Bardi got 8 assists in those 21 games as well. 10 goals and 8 assists. Enis Bardi's monstrous. Unbelievable. Linetti with 6 assists. He played every single game, all 46. He's on the list as well. When it comes to Golden Glove, O'Leary with 5 is there with 27 performances. And Valdemarson with 4 in 18 is on the list too, but only just. We will be letting or selling O'Leary. Valdemarson will stay as our number 1. And we've got someone in the Youth Academy that will be our number 2. We'll show you that in due course. Let's have a quick look at some of the other major leagues. So who's going to be joining us in the Championship from the Premier League next season? Manchester City win the league by 6 points. Liverpool and Manchester United round out the top 4 with Arsenal being the side in second. Chelsea 5th, Palace 7th as Aston Villa pipped them to a potential Conference League spot. Although Spurs finished 8th but won the Conference League, so they'll be in the Europa League next year, so I'm not entirely too sure who gets what spot in the division. I think Aston Villa might be without European football next season. Burnley finished 9th. It's a great season in the Premier League for them. Coming back down will be Nottingham Forest, side that played really well against us last season, but I feel like we could be able to beat. Bournemouth, a side that I think we could beat as well. And Southampton, who are a side that I feel like we could beat too. Okay. I am, provided we hire well and maintain the players that we want to maintain at the club, I think an automatic promotion push could be on the cards next year. Peterborough United will join us in the Championship once more. They won League One. Stoke will come up as well, just 2 points behind them. Charlton, Bolton, Wickham and Rotherham will battle it out for a playoff spot to join us in the Championship next year. We'll find out in due course which of those 4 does. Relegated down to League 2 will be Gillingham, Mansfield Town, Exeter City and Burton Albion. League 2, Forest Green promoted with the Championship. Leyton Orient and Shrewsbury will join them in League 1 next year. Bradford City, Carlisle United, Stevenage Borough and Colchester United will be in the playoffs for a spot in League 1 next season. And relegated would have been, by a long way, Sutton United and Notts County, intriguingly. Notts County, one of the sides that came up from the National League for the season before last that were very strong, but they will be, or would have been, back to it if it were on the save. PSG win in France again, because of course they do. In the Bundesliga, Leverkusen by 6 points from Leipzig and Bayern Munich on 63 points. Dortmund's down in 4th only in Germany. In Italy, it's Juventus by a mile from Inter Milan and AC Milan. Atalanta 4th, Napoli 5th, Roma only 6th. Lazio only 10th. Terrible season for them. In the Eredivisie, it's Ajax from Feyenoord. PSV, where Dylan Dodds was on loan this season, 5th only. Not a great season for them. Whether that was because they were playing Dylan Dodds and they had better options, I don't know. The SPL was won by Rangers by a point from Hearts. Celtic only 3rd. In La Liga, Atleti, Barca only 4th. Sevilla finish in 3rd. They won the Europa Conference League. No, they won the Europa League, so they would have been in the Champions League anyway. But they finish in the Champions League regardless because they finished 3rd. So does that mean Girona get a Champions League spot next year? I'm not sure. Girona in 5th and performing well in this save, just as they did in real life. Congratulations to them. So, with regards our squad, objectively, didn't really do much that the board wanted of us this season, as you can quite clearly see. None of the objectives achieved, but we don't really care for those at this moment in time. It's not really the point of the save. I'll show you the Youth Academy first, because Bertram Beck will be called up from the Youth Academy to the senior squad at 70 rated. He will be our backup goalkeeper next year. Gabriel Cabrera, I am tempted to let go. He's only 15, so we'll keep him at the club and try and continue to train him, but doesn't look great. Caleb Partridge, only 62 rated, but 85 to 91 potential, has 3 to 6 play styles as well. Play styles of which I'm actually very intrigued in seeing what they are. And we can do that here now as he's called up into the squad. Partridge's playstyles are rapid, first touch and trivela. Unfortunately only the 3, even though it was 3 to 6. But we will loan him out and we might well see some exponential growth from him this season. We have seen some good growth from other loanees out this year. So, plans for next season. Beck will be backup goalkeeper. Valdemarson will continue on as number 1. Stevens, transfer list. O'Leary, I will look to sell. He's only been here a year, but in that year, he signed for free, signed on a 2-year deal, and lost his first team spot because he wasn't good enough. Such is the nature of football at the cutthroat level of the game. Ben Osborne is retiring. Hero of the squad, will go down in the folklore of Cambridge United, but his time has come to an end. Crescene will start at left back. Firpo will be my backup for 1 more year, as Schmidt will go out on loan to Sparta Rotterdam and hopefully grow very well. At centre back, Cashin has grown to 78. Henderson is up 1 to 76. And that's kind of it at centre-back. Kaiser's grown really well out on loan. He's up to 69. Kellen Watts, I think I will sell. And we will look to sign at least one, if not maybe, 2 centre-backs next season. Certainly at least one. Cashin is he's really solid, but, and it is a but, even though he's got great jumping, the 5'11" does still cause him some concern sometimes. So I wonder, despite long pass, block, bruiser and aerial, whether I sign someone that's similarly rated and start them alongside Kirk Henderson in place of Cashin, and Cashin just becomes a great backup. I feel like it would be harsh to drop Kirk. Cashin has peaked as well. Kirk is captain, our young protege, and continually with room to grow. Watts has peaked and obviously is makes sense to sell him at this stage. At right back, Corbeny will continue to grow next season, hopefully, and Oyegoke will continue to be his backup. Quite happy with that situation. Isaac Hayden, I've tried to get rid of. Nobody wants him. His contract's out at the end of the season, so we won't make any profit, but our losses are cut there. Sigurdsson, his contract's expiring in 12 months' time. We brought him in this year. Wasn't amazing. 9 contributions in 37 games isn't sensational. And I feel like we could do better. So I might be interested in moving him on at the first opportunity. Lobato's obviously grown by 3 and was really, really good this season. 8 goals, 14 assists. Fantastic. Love him. But will be at risk of losing him because of his solid performances. Jeremy Sarmiento. Does he go out on loan or do I sell him? I genuinely don't know at this stage. Still got 3 years left on his deal. You guys will have the call for that. Linetti has dropped by another 2 and he's now 73 rated. I was thinking of having Linetti as a backup centre mid. I still probably am. But maybe we can do better. Perhaps. Makengo will continue to start and I will look for a new starter alongside Makengo. Makengo was really solid. He had a slow beginning to the season, but became a very, very important player in that midfield. He will probably only play out that 1 more year on his contract. We won't extend, but I feel like he performed well enough to earn the continued spot in this starting 11. Bardi was unbelievable. 20 contributions in 21 games. Sammy Smodics, we will be selling. He just didn't cut the mustard, unfortunately, for Sammy. So we will look to cut our losses there. Alejo's retiring at the end of the season. Thank you for your service, appreciate it. Loan list for Partridge. Grow really well, pal. Emmanuel Dennis earned a contract extension of 12 months. Will not be earning any more contract extensions, but will continue on the left-hand side for now. Moreno, we will look to loan. Moreno's going to go out and hopefully be a very capable player for us in a few seasons' time. Tiki-taka is his only play style at this stage. Dodds, he's peaked at 73. He was peaked at 73 before he went out on loan. He's then gone out on loan and obviously hasn't grown anymore. As we start the next season, I don't think he's going to grow anymore either. I think he's going to stay peaked and not grow any more than 74. I think Dylan Dodds might have seen his time at the club come to an end. Ollie McBurney grew to 74, has then regressed to 73 again. Obviously only signed in January, so we won't look to move Ollie on yet. But Fofana is obviously the starting striker. How he's only valued at £7.5 million baffles me. We will offer him a big contract extension next season to hopefully keep him at the club. But just because he signs a big contract extension in the summer doesn't mean that he stays. Financially, we have at the moment £13,800 in my current wage budget for this season. I will look to use that for Fofana now. I'm going to offer Fofana a new deal. I can afford to go up to £24,000. So hopefully we will be able to negotiate a new deal with Fofana here. He wants important, doesn't even want crucial. You're more than welcome to it, mate. We'll extend it by 2 more years because he's been growing really well and obviously scoring goals. He's on 11 grand a week. Is he going to give me an idea of what he wants? I will offer him, well, let's double his wages. He's earned double his wages. Will he take 22? He will. I think that's fair and hopefully will encourage Fode Fofana to stay, but it does depend who comes in for him if someone comes in for him. Foday Fofana now on £22,000 a week on a deal that will have 4 years remaining at the end of this season. But I very much get the feeling that there might be more teams in for him this season. Right, that is the roundup complete. I do have you guys to vote on your fans player of the season, most improved and signing of the season as I'm recording this. I will pass the buck to future me, who will speak to past me, which is now, which is present me in this moment, to give you your end of season rewards. But that is all for season 5 for me for today. It wasn't quite meant to be this year, but next season's our year. It took 2 years to get out of League One. If we get promoted next year, it would have taken twice that long to get out of the Championship. 2 years League One, 4th year in the Championship upcoming. Is it our time to make the Premier League? I certainly hope so. Join me tomorrow for the first episode of Season 6. And so then your end of season awards for Season 5. There's Player of the Year, there's Young Player of the Year, there's Fans Player of the Year, the signing of the season and most improved player of the season. And then, of course, as ever, you guys will get the opportunity to vote for your goal of the season on the link in the description down below, which might not be there right at the very beginning of the video because I'm live streaming at the moment. But as soon as either I remember or someone in chat reminds me, I'll add that link in and we'll post the tweet up with the vote for goal of the season. So we're not going to dilly-dally and bounce back and forth between this screen and the other one. I'm just going to rattle through these because we need to get this video recorded ASAP Rocky. So... hello, me, fancy graphic, no more fancy graphic. So, end of season awards then. And your end of season awards are as follows. It has been a tight decision in a number of different areas, if we're completely honest, because there have been a handful of standout players this year, but I don't feel like really we could look anywhere beyond Foday Fofana for player of the season. He, of course, was the league's top goal scorer with 27 goals in 44 games. It's been a breakout year for him, and despite some very strong performances from a number of different players, Fofana, I think, has to take this because of the manner of his performances this year. Arguably, he could win most improved as well. He hasn't, but it was night and day. 2 loan spells he had out on loan at other clubs because, quite frankly, he wasn't good enough. And he came back and was... well, unreal. And we absolutely didn't expect it. So player of the year for this 5th season, it has to go to Foday Fofana. Now, with regards to young player of the year, the cutoff is 23 years of age, meaning that it could only really go to Kirk Henderson or Kobe Corbani. Corbani was really good. I very much enjoyed Corbani this year. He put in an average performance of a 6.66 with 1 goal. But Kirk Henderson with an average performance of 6.68 and 2 contributions with the 2 assists, I think just edges it. He's been Young Player of the Year a number of years in a row. And unless we sign some significantly younger players in the upcoming transfer window, or unless someone else on this list kicks on, unlikely, I think Kirk Henderson is probably a shoo-in for Young Player of the Year for the next season at least, because, well, he has no competition. So, Player of the Year is Foday Fofana. Young Player of the Year will be Kirk Henderson. Now, Fans Player of the Year. You guys loved him. And I get it. I absolutely get it, because I loved him too. It had to be Enis Bardi. Came into the club in January and lit the Championship alight with his quality. It's probably the top of the range of signings we could have done. Even though his rating is lower, just his sheer ability and the way he changed the side and just is that bloody good. Effectively meant that Enis Bardi just romped the Championship with 20 goal contributions in 21 Championship games. It was pretty remarkable. Fans Player of the Year, undoubtedly, Enis Bardi. And whilst we're on Enis, we might as well give him signing of the season as well, mightn't we? Because, yikes. We had a number of players that were new signings this year, as we have done in every season. There were a number of players that shone. There were a number of players that didn't. And Enis Bardi was just so happened to be the cream of the crop of players that came in this year. That said, most improved player could have gone to any number of players. And we've actually elected to go for someone that not necessarily has gone with the biggest in-game growth. We are going to give special shout-outs here to Aaron Kashin for his potential for player of the season, potential for most improved, and potential for signing of the season, because he was that solid. But unfortunately, there were just a couple of players in each category that just edged him. Aaron Kashin certainly gets a special mention for a fantastic first season at the club. At 78 rated, he's grown by more than anybody else, or at least level with someone else who's going to get a special mention in a moment. He's got some great play styles. His technical stats aren't that impressive, which is not necessarily an issue, but certainly a factor in why actually his first team spot alongside Kirk Henderson is either at risk or, more to the point, we will probably see more rotation next year at centre-back, because we're going to look to bring in players of similar quality. It was kind of Kirk, Kashin, and then you had to go down to 72 rated Kellen Watts for an alternative at centre-back. That will not be the case next year. Kashin, Kirk Henderson, and insert new centre-back, at least one, will be very much heavily rotated throughout the course of the season, just as we look to keep everybody fresh and be as competitive as we possibly can be at all stages throughout the course of the season, as obviously we need to look for promotion to the Premier League, absolutely, next year. Special mention for Aaron Kashin this season. Also a special mention, someone that also doesn't get player of the season, also doesn't get most improved or signing of the season, is, I can actually find him on the bloody list. Where are you, lad? Lenny Lobato. Or Demi Lovato, whichever you prefer. 8 goals, 14 assists, 22 goal contributions in 45 championship games. One of the best players in the entire division, along with Kashin and Fode Fofana, is definitely up for contention for player of the season, for most improved player of the season, along with Kashin and Enis Bardi for winning it. Signing of the season as well will be very much in the shop window, I fear, for next season, as he has been sensational this year, as a number of players that are probably going to be in the shop window next year. We're going to try our best to hold on to players. We will look to utilise our wage budget and offer some new deals to try and entice them to stay, but it depends on which club it is that's coming in for them, if we're completely honest. So, Len Lobato with a special mention, Aaron Kashin with a special mention, but your most improved player, based on my feeling of him at the beginning of the season, how he was performing at the beginning of the season, and just how integral he became to our midfield line, Jean-Victor Makengo is your most improved player of the season. He was nowhere when we first signed him. He was an obvious signing because of his ability. He didn't blend into the squad as we'd intended when we first brought him in. But my God, was he one of the most important players on the pitch in the last third of the season. One of the first names on the team sheet, my go-to mop-up player in midfield. And that header, by the way, as well, which sadly doesn't make the goal of the season vote, but he's right up there with another special mention. Plenty of special mentions this season. Because it's been our best season so far in the save, and that's understandable why there are so many players that get that special mention. There are a number of players here you can see that have peaked at the moment. We are very much praying that for Season 6, a handful of those unpeak and will look to grow further as we try and get ourselves to the Premier League. But, of course, it depends on what happens in the transfer window as well as to how many of them stay with us. We should wait and see what interest is there for them. But Makengo, I couldn't not give him most improved just because of the way that he felt in game and the way that he played. Some of the others were that good all year long, but just got pipped to player of the season by Fode Fofana, Lobato and Kashin. Makengo was genuinely, in a realistic sense, the player that improved most with his performances throughout the course of the season. So it was the obvious thing to do, to give him the player of the season award. Most improved player of the season award this time around. So Fode Fofana, player of the year. Kirk Henderson, Young Player of the Year, shock. Signing of the season, Ennis Bardi, shock. Fans Player of the Year, Ennis Bardi, shock. And Most Improved, Makengo. But special mentions to Kashin and to Lobato as well for a sensational performance. And actually, Valdemarson also came in, didn't actually do that well when he first joined. I was a little bit like, have we made the right decision? But some of the saves he made in the latter half of the second half of the season were pretty remarkable, and I'm hoping that Hakon can continue to grow as we progress through the save and into next year. So, from the awards or the already decided, to the award now for Goal of the Season. Let me show you your 4 nominees, and then you can go and vote, can't you, on the Twitter poll in the description down below. Option 1 for Goal of the Season comes from the January episode, episode 7. There are actually 2 options for Goal of the Season in this particular game. The second one, I'm sure you very much remember, but this first one from Foday Fofana, at this point, was the first Goal of the Season worthy contender, and against the playoff rival, was very much worthy of its inclusion here. It's not Foday Fofana's only addition to the list, but certainly that was a great way to start the Goal of the Season competition, and some might argue that it only gets better from here. But absolutely, from the edge of the box into the far top corner against one of the goalkeepers that caused us a lot of problems this season, and last season as well in the Championship, ball bobbled nicely, flew into the top bins, and was sensational. So, second option for Goal of the Season. We brought Ennis Bardi on. He just signed. This was quite literally going to be his first kick as a player in a Cambridge United shirt. From how far out? From 25 metres out. 26 metres out, in fact. Ennis Bardi's first kick as a Cambridge United player. 0.09 expected goals. And he did that. I think the response is very much justifies. I can't quite believe he did it still. And that free kick goal will go down in the history of the channel, really, for the impact. And his substitute performance throughout the course of the year will go down in channel folklore as well. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. One of, well, I think I'll go as far as to say probably the best free kick we've scored. I've already decided what the goal of the season is, and it's that one. It might not be, though, because you know what else is coming. Ennis Bardi and Foday Fofana, options 2 and 1, respectively, for Goal of the Season. Up next, however, is Foday Fofana again, a little bit later on in the season. Now, this third option actually starts at the other end of the pitch with the opposition. That's one of the saves that I can't quite believe Valdemarson pulled out that we mentioned earlier. This started at the other end of the pitch with Blackburn on the attack. We're already 3-0 up at this point, and we clear from the corner. And quite literally, from the back to the front, Bardi wins it back there after the clearance. And this is one of those team move goals. We had one, I think, last season that we added to the vote. And Bardi spreads it out wide to Manuel Dennis, then inside to Lobato, then across to Fofana. And quite frankly, that is the epitome of a team move. That's the sort of football that every club aspires to be able to play regularly. For us, it's the occasional goal every now and then, but ultimately that's the calibre of football that you want to play every day, every week. We haven't been able to reach that at this stage of the save. We aim to, maybe next season, with further improvements to the squad, to become one of the best sides in the Championship. We're already 7th best in the Championship, in theory. We actually feel we were 5th best in the Championship because a couple of sides that finished above us, we feel like we were better than. So, aim is to do that more regularly next season, but this season it was certainly a standout goal, and that's why it's on the list as your third option. Up next, the fourth option comes just one episode later, in episode 12, which is going to be actually the last episode, yesterday's episode, as you see this, and yesterday's episode actually as I record this. Blackpool away was the game. And you already know what's coming because it was the last action of the game. Blackpool were pushing to get themselves. This one also starts at the other end of the pitch, but ends up in the back of the net at the other end in quite different fashion. Blackpool were pushing for the way back into the game. They were 3-1 down at this stage. The goalkeeper was up for the corner with still 4 or 5 minutes to go. Forgive the hair that's right in front of my eyes. We clear it with Lanetti. Sigurdsson recovers. He's got a man on his shoulder. There's 3 or 4 people with him. And then from 20 yards inside his own half, he finds the back of the net to make it 4-1. The Enis Bardi free kick, until that moment, for me, was a shoo-in. Absolutely the best goal of the season. But I can't pick between those two if I give my own personal opinion. Don't let that sway your bias, but both of them, outrageous, one in a lifetime, not necessarily one in a lifetime for Enis Bardi, but once in a season, certainly goals that we are unlikely to ever see again in the short to medium term future. That from Sigurdsson is a once in a career style goal for him, and you certainly don't see many goals from your own half in any given save. I think it's the first goal from our own half we've scored in this. No, so it might be the second goal from our own half we've scored in this save, but certainly the furthest out we've scored from any goal in this save. So, with your continued player of the season vote, please do let me know which way you wish it to go. The link will be in the description down below. That is all for this end of season finale. It didn't end how we wanted it to, because we didn't make the playoffs. But next season, we will at least make the playoffs. I, dare I say, promise. That might bite me. I hope it doesn't. Join me tomorrow for episode 1 of season 6, where again, it's going to be some ins and outs as we look to drastically improve the squad to get ourselves to the Premier League. Thank you very much for watching today. I'll see you tomorrow.